Hello everyone, welcome to your weekly forecast for Monday, July 5th through Sunday, July 11th. There's 4 major aspects this week. On Monday, July 5th, the Sun in Cancer sextiles Uranus in Taurus. On Tuesday, July 6th, Mercury in Gemini squares Neptune in Pisces. On Wednesday, July 7th, Venus in Leo opposes Saturn in Aquarius, and on Thursday, July 8th, Venus in Leo squares Uranus in Taurus. And Mercury moves into Cancer on the 11th. So before I begin, I would like to remind you to subscribe to my channel. Check out my Ask Me a Questions, the section below in the description there. There's a link. There's also a link to my website if you would like to have your personal chart done. And excuse me, check out my monthly forecast. So for Aries, okay, let me put this here. Okay, on Monday, July 5th, the Sun in Cancer in your 4th house sextiles the planet Uranus, transiting in your 2nd house in Taurus. So having the Sun and Mercury eventually and other planets, whatever, in your 4th house of your home, your personal life, your family life, but it's where you physically live, okay? So this is where your focal point is right now till the Sun moves into Leo. But it's here, you know, Sun's here the same time each year, so maybe there is something that you do each year around this time to your home, or something that you possibly do with your family. It's a very nice sextile to Uranus in your 2nd house of income. So whatever you're doing isn't too expensive, or you have put the money aside for this very thing. Like I said, maybe it's an annual thing that you do, or it's something that you had planned for. It doesn't necessarily have to be something that you do every year, but it's either buying something new for your home, even if it's like an appliance or something like that, or making some kind of arrangements with family to do something or other that does require money, some kind of gathering. Okay, on Tuesday, July 6th, Mercury in Gemini in your 3rd house squares Neptune transiting in Pisces in your 12th house. This isn't too bad. It's just that your 3rd house is your everyday life. The people that you would encounter throughout like the normal course of the day. Okay, like the people in your neighborhood, or shopkeepers, something like that, post office, library, anybody that you might even run into, like neighbors. Okay, it's also the house of siblings and cousins. Communication house, big communication house, like regular postal mail, email, text messages, or even voicemail, something like that or other. And Mercury and Neptune together in a square or an opposition is usually some kind of little white lie, possibly. So if you encounter someone in your own neighborhood and they tell you something that you find hard to believe, that's right. You're right on it. You know, your first impression is not to really believe it, and that's probably what you should do. Your 12th house, where you have Neptune transiting right now, the 12th house is a psychic house. The planet Neptune is a psychic planet, so it does enhance your abilities to like suss out anything that anyone is telling you on any given day. Okay, so this, you know, message possibly could even come about or from a sibling or a cousin. It could be even something that you receive in the mail. So you find it a bit far-fetched, or may find it, but whatever somebody says to you this day, or that you even hear like on the news or read somewhere, you know, this will pass. It's just a square, and it's a fleeting one at that. So whatever, could be interesting though. On Wednesday, July 7th, Venus in Leo in your, let's see here, 5th house, sorry, opposes Saturn transiting in Aquarius in your 11th house. So having Venus in your 5th house of romance and fun, gambling, speculation, entertainment of any kind, And the opposition to Saturn in your 11th house of friends and acquaintances and the places where you go to do just that, to have fun, that you socialize, wherever it is that you go and the people that you socialize with. Not a very big deal. You might feel maybe there's one of your friends that possibly you are interested in. You would like to know them better. You would like to date them or something or other, or be involved with them romantically and not just friends. And this could be a time where you realize it's kind of hard for you to make that approach. For some reason, you're feeling, or even not just that, you're feeling left out of your own crowd in a way. You know, like they could be all doing something that you were asked to join or asked to do whatever this is with them, and you either don't feel like it or just whatever. For some reason, just very briefly, you will feel like you don't belong with your friends. They don't understand you, or nobody does, or you don't have anything in common with them, and blah, blah, blah. Okay? On Thursday, July 8th, Venus in Leo in your 5th house squares Uranus transiting in your 2nd house of income. So in this case, this isn't really all that bad. It's a square from Venus, and all that really does, all Venus really does, it's almost like Jupiter. In a way, it causes you to go overboard in some way, so you may spend too much money on entertainment, want to buy something pretty lavish or whatever for yourself, but usually what it comes down to is you're just spending too much money on a good time. Okay. For Taurus, on Monday, July 5th, the Sun in Cancer in your 3rd house sextiles Uranus transiting in your 1st house of Taurus. So having the Sun in your 3rd house of your everyday life, and your neighbors, your neighborhood, siblings, cousins, travel, short distance travel, could be something that you're preparing to do on this day. It's also a big communication house, the written word and spoken word. So, and mail, regular postal mail and email. But you could have some kind of conversation with someone in your neighborhood or a person in your life, like a sibling or a cousin or somebody like that, that helps you in some way or other, enhances your personality, makes you feel a little bit more secure about yourself, whereas sometimes having Uranus in your 1st house transiting for as long as it's going to kind of makes you feel out of sorts a lot of times, like you may feel like you're acting too weird, or you know, nobody understands you pretty much. You're changing a little bit, so, and a lot of people aren't really with it when it comes to that. They like you the way you always were, but this change is actually pretty good because it's making you more yourself. So at one point or other, someone is going to do or say something possibly, or something could occur within your own immediate area that makes you feel more settled with the person you are becoming. On Tuesday, July 6th, Mercury and Gemini in your 2nd house squares Neptune transiting in your 11th house of Pisces. So your 2nd house is earned income. It's money that you make from work. And a square to Neptune in your 11th house of your friends and acquaintances and any kind of group or organization that you belong to. It's also the house of dreams, hopes, and wishes. And, you know, it's your most sociable house. But having Neptune here sometimes makes you not see your friends very clearly. You're giving them a lot of credit where they probably shouldn't be getting it. You know what I mean? You put some of these people possibly up on a pedestal and just think they could do no wrong. And if you were ever in any kind of trouble and you needed help, you could always turn to them. Excuse me. And rely on them to help you. But a lot of times, you know, if it ever comes down to having to test that theory, you could get like a huge surprise as to who actually helps you and who just totally blows you off. Okay, so this could be something on that line where even somebody you know. It could just be, though, even an organization that you would like to join, or you have recently joined, that is preying on your sympathies and is trying to get money out of you to donate to their cause, or something dealing with money and socializing. But it could be anyone just trying to, I don't know, get you to, maybe they're selling something even, and they want you to buy. But it's like one of your friends or a person from an organization maybe trying to get you to donate money. On Wednesday, July 7th, Venus in Leo in your 4th house opposes Saturn transiting in your 10th house of Aquarius. So this really isn't a very big deal. Okay, the Venus just may make you possibly feel like, well, you don't feel like going to work, or you don't feel like dealing with something or other that's possibly going on in your career. Your 10th house, where you have Saturn, is your career and your outer persona, your public and personal reputation, how you're known by reputation. But it's actually like your career, whatever. And having Venus in your 4th house of your home means that you're having a pretty nice time just relaxing at home, and maybe you don't really feel like dealing with work right now. So maybe something could come up where you are bothered at home by someone at work wanting you to, I don't know, come into work or do something or other. I can't tell whether or not you're going to do it. It's just that it's an annoyance, whatever it is. On Thursday, July 8th, Venus in Leo in your 4th house squares Uranus transiting in your 1st house of Taurus. This actually isn't too bad either. You could kind of like maybe even overdo it for some reason or other. Even from the day before that, Wednesday, July 7th, maybe you are scheduled like to go into work, but maybe you partied too much, or you were out late, you didn't have any kind of sleep. This could be something like on those lines. On that Thursday with Venus square Uranus, again, it's just having a little bit too much fun maybe. Maybe you did spend more money than you had planned, but it looks like you got a pretty good time out of it, so it's not really all that bad. For Gemini, on Monday, July 5th, the Sun in Cancer in your 2nd house, sextiles Uranus transiting in your 12th house of Taurus. So your 2nd house is how you earn your money, the things that you own that are valuable, your own personal values. But this is the money house, and when the Sun is here, that's where your attention is at this time, making money, or how much, this or that, how much do you have, how much can you afford to lose, how much whatever you want to spend at the same time that you want money coming in. So it could be something like that. You have your eye on something that you would like. It's kind of like a secret, because whomever may have something to say about it, whatever it is that you would like to buy, thinking that maybe it's something silly. Why are you spending money on something like that? But it's something that you've wanted for a really long time, and if you have the money, you're going to spend it. You're going to buy this very thing for yourself, and probably just keep it a secret. On Tuesday, July 6th, Mercury in Gemini in your 1st house squares Neptune transiting in your 10th house of Pisces. And Mercury's still in your sign, and it's in direct motion, so your communications are pretty clear at this time, and Mercury is helping you to get your point across in a lot of areas. But this square to Neptune in your 10th house of your career and public life, you could say, excuse me, or do something that sounds like kind of flippant, or is taken wrong in some way or other. You could even say something about yourself or someone else that isn't like really true. You could really, elaborate on some kind of good time or whatever that you had with so-and-so, or, something like that. Just like to get people's attention. and it's going to probably backfire in some way. So if you're going to say anything that either publicly or something that could actually get out there in the public, it's a good idea to stick to the truth. Okay. On Wednesday, July 7th, Venus in Leo in your 3rd house opposes Saturn transiting in your 9th house of Aquarius. So both of these are travel and communication houses. Having Saturn in your 9th house, right now I'd have to say that you're not really traveling, or you're having to travel, but it's not for fun. It's for business, or it's for because you have to take care of something or other. So this Venus opposition just maybe makes you feel like, why do you have to keep dealing with this? Okay, could even be not just travel, but a person in your life that you don't have one thing in common with them, yet you're thrown into some kind of relationship with them because it's either because of work or because of family, but you're the one that's having to deal with them, and a lot of times it's a real damper on your personality. Like, dealing with this person is a real drag, period, but they make you feel maybe pessimistic or depressed or something like, something like that, because maybe they are that way themselves, and they're like, you're picking up on their vibe or something or other, but they're not a lot of fun to be around. Okay, on Thursday, July 8th, Venus in Leo in your 3rd house squares Uranus transiting in your 12th house of Taurus. So maybe about that gift I was telling you about that you may have purchased for yourself that was a secret, some of it could probably come out at this time. Okay, that I mean, if it's something that's going to be left laying around, obviously someone's going to see it sooner or later. Or something you're going to wear or use, someone will see it sooner or later, right? So it's not like a very big deal. And in fact, you could find out that whomever you were trying to keep this from really didn't care about it anyway. They knew that you wanted that one, whatever, that one very thing, and that you were more than likely going to buy it. So it wasn't no big surprise to them. For Cancer, on Monday, July 5th, the Sun in Cancer in your 1st house sextiles Uranus transiting in your 11th house of Taurus. So your 11th house is your most sociable house. It's socializing online. It's just hanging out with your friends, any kind of organization that you belong to, but it's where you would normally go to have fun. And the group of people that you hang out with. If you're not physically going out, then you're socializing online. But whatever you're doing, your personality enhances the friends that you have, or the group that you're hanging with, or if you belong to any kind of organization, your personality you're really putting it in there and making the organization better because of it. Okay, so your personality is really drawing in like new friends, new interests. Having Uranus in your 11th house is going to be attracting unusual new friends for years to come yet. So this is no different than that. On Tuesday, July 6th, Mercury in Gemini in your 12th house squares Neptune transiting in your 9th house of Pisces. So these planets together are a little bit of a lie, okay? And having Mercury in your 12th house kind of makes you a little bit of a spy right now. It's the investigator in you coming out, trying to find out anything. It could be about a person or just information that you would like to know. And the square to your 9th house of your philosophy on life, your opinions, your religious and spiritual beliefs, and just your outlook on life, period, okay, besides many, many other things. But there could be somebody here that you thought really had it together, okay? They appeared in your mind to be some kind of guru or whatever they were into. You thought that was like really, really neat, and you would like to try something like that. Let's say like some kind of like cultural thing that brings about nirvana or something or other, okay? So now you're finding out that maybe that's not what all this was about, and you're maybe let down a little bit, only to find that this person may practice one thing but say another. So they don't really practice what they preach. Okay. On Wednesday, July 7th, Venus in Leo in your second house opposes Saturn transiting in your 8th house of Aquarius. And both of these are the money houses, and this really isn't all that bad. It's just that having Venus in your second house does attract money to you. It also makes you want to spend money, okay? And having Saturn in your 8th house means that sometimes it's hard to get money at this time when Saturn's here. So that could be something like this, that maybe you thought even that you could possibly borrow some money, maybe not a lot, but just borrow money from someone or other, and they either can't for some reason give it to you at this time, maybe another time, but they're not able to help you in whatever you thought you would borrow from them. It just doesn't have to be money though either. It could be anything that you needed to borrow because you needed to use it. Okay, so it's just hard trying to get it at this time. On Thursday, July 8th, Venus in Leo in your second house squares Uranus transiting in your 11th house of Taurus. So we're back to the friends again in your 11th house, and your second house is earned income, how you earn your money, and anything that you own that is valuable. So this square here just means that maybe you are spending a little bit too much money hanging out with your friends, or you're going to some kind of an event that, like to see a live band or something like that, something you haven't been able to do for a really long time because of the pandemic. So you're more than likely going to do it because it does seem like it's worthwhile. It'll get you out of the house, and you'll be able to do something that you used to do, but couldn't for like over a year now. For Leo, okay, on Monday, July 5th, the Sun in Cancer in your 12th house sextiles Uranus transiting in your 10th house of Taurus. So you have planets in your 12th house of secrets, confidences, behind the scenes actions taken by you or someone else. It's the house of your subconscious mind. It's the house of psychic ability, one of them. And this very nice sextile to Uranus in your 10th house of career, your social and professional and even personal status or public life, how you're known by reputation in any one of these areas. Having the planet Uranus here does bring about a lot of unexpected and sudden events occurring in your life in a very public place or in a public manner, or something in your career, something just totally out of left field. But, excuse me, right now somebody could be helping you. It could be as far as your career goes, and it's a secret, okay? They're helping you behind the scenes, either secure a position in your current place of employment or securing a new position. Maybe you are even looking for another job at this time. If you don't work at all, or you're retired, there's still something going on behind the scenes in your life, and it's in regards to your public persona, your reputation. Something or other is going on in that area. So people may be discussing you or talking about you just a little bit, not a lot. On Tuesday, July 6th, Mercury in Gemini in your 11th house squares Neptune transiting in your 8th house of Pisces. So having Mercury in your 11th house of friends and associates, acquaintances, any kind of organization that you belong to, it's your crowd, your gang or whatever, or any place where you would go to hang out. So having Mercury here does mean that you've been socializing a little bit more, or at least contacting people that you haven't talked to in a while. This is a social media house also, so you may have been online in social media more than you normally are. Square to Neptune in your 8th house of other people's money and resources could mean that maybe you are making plans with some of your friends to do something or other, or you would like to join an organization at this time, but you need to pay up front some kind of dues or anything dealing with money. Okay, and you really don't have the money right now. Maybe maybe you just don't want to spend it, but somebody could even be telling you, because this transit is a little bit of a lie, okay? One of your friends could be telling you that they don't have the money to do whatever and try to, I don't know, sucker you into paying their way, or maybe not expecting the money not from you. Maybe they owe you money, okay? Or they have something of yours that they borrowed and they're not returning it for some reason or other. So it could be something like that, but that's a little white lie there as to why that's happening. It's whatever they're telling you as to why they need money or why they have something of yours that they're unable to return right now. There's a little bit more maybe to the story, okay? On Wednesday, July 7th, Venus in Leo in your first house opposes Saturn, transiting in your 7th house of Aquarius. So this really isn't a bad transit. It's just that very briefly on this day, you may feel estranged in some way or other with your partner, if this is a romantic partner. Or it could be a business partner, but I'd have to say romance. Or it could even be a close friend that you feel distanced and cut off from for some reason or others. Everybody feels that way at one time or other with when they're around people, you know, anyone. So it's just something very brief. You're acknowledging your differences more than you are your likes, the things that you have in common. On Thursday, July 8th, Venus in Leo in your first house squares Uranus, transiting in your 10th house of Taurus. And this isn't a bad transit either. Just having Venus in your first house is in your favor right there, and it is enhancing your, let's say, your outer public reputation or your persona or something or other. So, you know, people could be just, I don't want to, they're not really making things up, they're just kind of speculating as to anything about you, and not even just like your career, what you do for a living, but you know, all kinds of wild stories or a little bit of gossip of some kind could go around about you at this time. You may be associated with somebody, some celebrity type person even, or somebody pretty prestigious that you are dating them or did date them or you know them really well or blah blah blah. It's probably not true, but for all, you know, who knows, it might be, but you're just hearing some strange things about yourself as far as your life goes, and it's not really bad. It's just kind of funny, actually. For Virgo, on Monday, July 5th, the Sun in Cancer in your 11th house sextiles Uranus, transiting in your 9th house of Taurus. So, you know, your 9th house is many things, but one of them is travel, okay? Big time, long distance travel or foreign travel. And it's summertime, you know, here in America anyway. So your 11th house, where you have Cancer and have these planets in Cancer right now, is your house of your friends and acquaintances. It's your most sociable house. It's wanting to attend some kind of an event or whatever, or go to a live show. It's where you would normally go to hang out. It's also any kind of organization that you belong to, and it's the house of dreams, hopes, and wishes. So you may be either actually going on a trip right now or making plans for some kind of long distance trip. It could be to visit somebody, but it could also be to do something very different. It's not your normal everyday kind of vacation. You could even be like traveling somewhere to do something, let's say like go on a dig, an archaeological dig of some kind, something like that. You know, it's a little bit different. On Tuesday, July 6th, Mercury in Gemini in your 10th house squares Neptune, transiting in your 7th house of Pisces. So Mercury is your ruler along with the ruler of Gemini, so it does really well, especially when it's in Gemini. It's the natural ruler of that planet, of that sign, right? But having Mercury in your 10th house of career and outer public persona and how people view and speak about you publicly, which is what's going on here while you have Mercury here. You're either doing a lot of public speaking or appearing in public somewhere or other. If that's not the case, people are just really talking about you at this time. Now, this square to Neptune in your 7th house of close relationships just means that maybe you are associated with someone very closely that you'd rather not be linked to them. Maybe you know them, but not that well, and in fact they kind of take away from your personality instead of enhancing it. Whatever, it could just be anything like that. Or if you are in some kind of relationship right now, they could be questioning whatever it is that you're doing in your career. What are you trying to, what's the point? What are you trying to prove, or what are you trying to do? And in a way, it kind of makes you feel like they're undermining you in some way or other. And maybe you aren't all that truthful with them about what your plans are for the future as far as your career goes. Okay, so you could be holding back a little bit of information there, but it's because they're not on board anyway. So why would you discuss something like that with someone who wasn't on your side, right? On Wednesday, July 7th, Venus in Leo in your 12th house opposes Saturn transiting in your 6th house of Aquarius. So, okay, your 6th house is your house of the kind of work that you do and your co-workers, your work schedule, where you work. It's your house of health and your house of service, house of small pets even, and some other things. But I would have to say that, having Venus in your 12th house of confidences and secrets maybe means that you might accidentally find out something about someone that you work with, or something about your company, or the work that you guys are doing. It's not really too bad. This is an opposition from Venus. All it does is make you, at one point or other, okay, there could be an instance where your co-workers plan on doing something, let's say, even if it's all of them going to lunch, or if they're planning to surprise somebody with a gift or a party or something like that, and they forget to include you. Okay, so it could just briefly make you feel like really left out. Okay, on Thursday, July 8th, Venus in Leo in your 12th house squares Uranus transiting in your 9th house of Taurus. And this, again, is not a bad transit coming from Venus, and it's a behind-the-scenes kind of thing. Having Venus still in your 12th house usually brings about a lot of really nice daydreams and very pleasant. This could be one of those times, though, where you're actually in touch with someone. Okay, the 9th house, besides being long-distance travel, is also long-distance communication with anyone. It doesn't necessarily have to be a person who lives in a foreign country or is a foreigner. So you could be behind the scenes contacting someone or other. It could be an old friend, or it could be someone new that has recently come into your life or whatever, but for some reason you're not really letting everybody know that you're in touch with this person. And it's not like a very big deal. It's just that maybe you have a little bit more in common with them than your friends do. Okay, so you don't need an escort or a chaperone of any kind to just communicate with this person. Okay, on Monday, July 5th for Libra, the Sun in Cancer, let's see here, in your 10th house, sextiles Uranus transiting in your 8th house of Taurus. So the 10th house is your public and professional reputation, how you're known publicly, how people speak about and view you publicly. It's your career. It's your outer persona. It's how you're known, more or less, by reputation. So even if you're retired or you don't work at all, it still has something to do with your status, okay, your personal status, even if it's just in your own neighborhood or within your group of friends or something or other. So sextile from your 10th to your 8th house of other people's resources and money, and having the planet Uranus transiting in this 8th house means that that part of your life is going to be kind of unpredictable and exciting, I would have to say. But I'd be really careful with what I owned or jointly owned with someone else, because there's a possibility that they could surprise you with just taking all of it and leaving you with nothing. This isn't one of those times, though. This is possibly receiving some kind of perk or some special favor or whatever that is financial, or the use of some kind of property, or something, let's say like a car or a credit card company credit card, whatever. But it's in regards to your job. Higher up may give you access to something like that right now. And again, if you are retired or don't work at all, there's still something being made available to you because you're you, because of who you are. Okay. On Tuesday, July 6th, Mercury in Gemini in your 9th house squares Neptune transiting in your 6th house of Pisces. So this is a little bit of a little white lie. Okay, having Mercury in your 9th house, and the 9th house being a big communication and travel house, among many, many other things. It's a big media house, like newspapers, magazines, things like that, internet, anything, okay? And the square to Neptune in your 6th house of the workplace and your co-workers just kind of makes you possibly feel that 9th house is also higher learning, the house of higher learning and knowledge. That maybe you know a little bit more about whatever you are doing at work, what you and your co-workers are doing. Even you may feel superior to a boss, or someone that you're supposed to go to for information or instructions on whatever it is that you're doing. So this is just like kind of one of those times where you're not openly pointing out that, like, this person is stupid or they don't know what they're talking about or something, something's wrong with the work that everyone's doing and this is why. But it is kind of like that, you could do it in a roundabout way to still remain pleasant and not embarrass somebody by correcting their work or correcting them, but maybe not in front of everyone. Okay, let's put it that way. And if you don't work at all, this is the house of service, and it's the same thing with that. If you are helping someone, and a lot of times what happens is, or you're the one being helped, you find out that whomever it is that you're helping really didn't need your help. It was just easier for them to ask you or to get you to do it for them rather than them do it themselves. Okay, so at this time you might just do whatever it was they asked and never do it again because of that, because it was something that they could have easily taken care of themselves. Okay, on Wednesday, July 7th, Venus in Leo in your 11th house opposes Saturn in your 5th house of Aquarius. So having Venus in your 11th house of socializing and where you go to hang out with your friends and any kind of organization that you belong to. But having Venus here makes you kind of like want to get out there and meet new people. Now having an opposition to Saturn in your fifth house of fun and romance, okay, creativity, entertainment of any kind. Having Saturn here does put a little bit of a damper on your love life. Okay, so you could maybe even, when you're out socializing, run into an old flame and kind of miss them in a way, because having Saturn in your 5th house also kind of brings to mind the need for a more stable relationship with someone. Maybe before then, whomever the kind of people that you were dating, it was like really up in the air half the time. You know, it wasn't something that you could fall back on or rely on. But there more than likely was someone like that in your life at one time or other, and something could occur that helps you to remember that or remember them. It's not a bad thing. It's just that you're just. But again, you could run into somebody, an old flame, that who knows? Maybe you will get back together with them somewhere down the line. On Thursday, July 8th, Venus in Leo in your 11th house squares Uranus, transiting in your 8th house of Taurus. So this really isn't bad. You know, square from Venus just makes you want to do a lot more. You want to maybe get out there a little bit more, having Venus in your 11th house, okay? And wanting to do things with your friends. The 8th house where you have Uranus transiting is money. It's a money house, but it's other people's resources and money. But it's also it's shared debt, though, too. It's not just a house of unexpected or income coming to you through means other than earning it, though that could actually happen at this time. Someone, one of your friends, or even a new person that you meet could give you some kind of information or whatever that you can use to be like ahead of everyone else. Let's say when it comes to a job or a client that you would like to have, or somebody that you would like to do business with. So this could happen in kind of like a roundabout way. So you like did a little bit of networking by accident, okay, while you were socializing with your friends. Okay, for Scorpio, on Monday, July 5th, the Sun in Cancer in your 9th house, sextiles Uranus, transiting in your 7th house of Taurus. So this is actually very nice, okay? You have, your 9th house is many things, but one of them, very important thing, is your outlook and your philosophy on life and your spiritual and religious beliefs, and it's just even your opinions, even on politics and anything. And it looks like they are in sync with whomever it is that you have a close relationship with. Your 7th house is your close relationships. It's business or romantic or just a close friend. So on this day anyway, you have that in common with them. You're in sync with one another on certain views. On Tuesday, July 6th, Mercury in Gemini in your 8th house squares Neptune, transiting in your 5th house of Pisces. So Mercury in your 8th house of other people's resources and money means that this area is activated in some way or other. You could possibly be on the receiving end of money coming to you. The 8th house is money, receiving money through means other than earning it. Okay, so it's through a legal settlement or an insurance payout, a legacy or inheritance. It's a refund of some kind, credit of some kind. But whatever could possibly be happening, your 5th house where you have Neptune, 5th house is the house of fun and romance, creativity, entertainment of any kind. It's sports and games and whatever. So you may be urged, or you don't even have to have anybody do this to you or for you. On your own, you may like want to speculate, want to gamble, or spend money on, let's say, having fun somewhere, or on a romantic evening, even whatever, with someone. So that's really like kind of all that is. But Mercury and Neptune together are like a little bit of a lie, okay, like a little white lie. So you may actually lie and tell whomever you don't have the money to do this. You're not able to do whatever it is that they wanted you to do, okay, for fun, okay. Or somebody could actually just try to talk you into parting with your money to do just that, to gamble or to use it having fun. Okay, on Wednesday, July 7th, Venus in Leo in your 10th house opposes Saturn, transiting in your 4th house of Aquarius. So this isn't bad at all. Okay, having Venus in your 10th house means that you're very popular right now, and people are saying very nice things about you, especially your appearance, and they're voicing this publicly in some way or other. Could even be just like on social media. And the opposition to Saturn in your 4th house of home is really no big deal. It's just that you may be a family member may feel that, well, not even just a family member, it could be someone you live with, or even just someone in your personal life. They could feel that you're spending way too much time trying to climb the ladder of success, or trying to gain too much recognition, or really wanting to be out there in the public eye, and you're not taking care of things at home. Okay, it could be something as minor as just leaving your clothes laying all over the place when you just rush in to change your clothes and rush right back out again. Things like that. Okay. On Thursday, July 8th, Venus in your 10th house in Leo squares Uranus transiting in your 7th house of Taurus. So again, not a very bad transit. It's a square from Venus. All it does is make you still kind of like want to carry on with whatever it is that you are doing within your career or in the public eye, or again, like I said, some kind of, oops, got a bug here, some kind of moves that you're making to be successful. And your 7th house is your house of close relationships and partnerships, business, romantic, or close friend. And you know, Taurus is your opposite sign, so you've already been dealing with the planet Uranus for a couple years now, so nothing really surprises you anymore. But they could be against whatever it is that you're doing, okay, for your career, or to get ahead in some way or other. And that's, you know, that's too bad for them. For Sagittarius, on Monday, July 5th, the Sun in Cancer in your 8th house sextiles Uranus transiting in your 6th house of Taurus. So your 6th house is the kind of work that you do, the workplace, your co-workers, your work schedule. It's also your house of health and your house of service, among many other things. Having the Sun in your 8th house of other people's resources and money. Money coming to you through means other than earning it. So I would have to say, though, you are possibly receiving some kind of benefit from the work that you do. Maybe it isn't money, but it's some other kind of perk or whatever that you get from, you know, the company you work for, or if you're self-employed, if you are perhaps creating something for someone or other, they're giving you a little bit more, let's say like a tip or a bonus or something or other. But you could be on the receiving end of, it could be money or resources that belong to someone else, or money done, like money from a job done possibly in the past. Okay. On Tuesday, July 6th, Mercury in Gemini in your 7th house squares Neptune transiting in your 4th house of Pisces. So having Mercury in your 7th house of partnerships, romantic, business, or close friends does mean that you're having a little bit more contact with any of these people. Just simply having Mercury here does make you very talkative, and also them. However, this is also the house of contracts and agreements. You could be in discussions with someone. This is also the house of like consultants, like getting information or advice from somebody, let's say like a lawyer or something like that. So this, you know, this transit is ending up here. Mercury's leaving here and going into Cancer on the 11th, but it's been in your 7th house for a while, so there's something going on there. And the square to Neptune in your 4th house of your home and personal life, your actual physical dwelling and the property surrounding it, the people you live with, your past, anything like that. So There could be people coming back from your past, you know, your childhood that you knew when you were younger, possibly just like went to school with. But if this is a current, let's say, romantic relationship or someone that you're involved with romantically, this is a little bit of a white lie kind of thing where maybe they say they want to meet your family, or they would rather spend more time at your place or at their place, or something that they would like to do possibly, or you could be the one telling the little white lie, you know, saying that you're not able to do something or other because of your family or because of where you live even. Could have something to do with, yeah, your property, where you live, physically live, but it could even be your neighborhood too. On Wednesday, July 7th, Venus in Leo in your 9th house opposes Saturn transiting in your 3rd house of Aquarius. Not a very bad transit at all. Okay, having Venus in your 9th house means that contact with people who live at a distance, especially people who live in other countries or have a foreign background, they're foreigners. Everything is like really pleasant communications, regular mail even, regular postal mail and email, text messages and voicemail. So it could be hearing from someone, possibly that you haven't heard from in a long time. This is from your past, I would have to say. Could be somebody that you went to like grade school with. It could be someone who lived in the same neighborhood as you when you were children. So it's not really a very bad thing, the opposition. It's just that you want to go. You know, you have Venus in your 9th house. You're the ruler of, the natural ruler of the 9th house, and you are the adventurer of the Zodiac. You know, so having Venus here makes you really want, you know, if somebody contacts you that you haven't heard from them in a while and they're telling you all this stuff, you know, that they've been doing and having like all this fun and that, so of course they're getting you all wrought up and you want to do this too. So that's all that is just really wanting to take off on some kind of an adventure, but are stuck at home, more or less. On Thursday, July 8th, Venus in Leo in your 9th house squares Uranus transiting in your 6th house of Taurus. And this isn't a bad transit at all. It does mean that if you do work with other people in the workplace, something like that, that you know, you're having some kind of, I would have to say, the 9th house is also the house of higher learning and knowledge, okay, and skill even. So at this time, your skills may be a little bit better than someone that you work with, or you are given, you're one of those people that if it's something creative, okay, and there are other people doing the same thing as you, that you're given everyone's work when they're done because your specialty is hiding people's mistakes. Okay, something like that. I used to do that myself. That was my specialty when it came to working for a designer. Okay, so I could work it in there, hide people's flaws, you know, not just ones that I made. So something on those lines. For Capricorn, on Monday, July 5th, the Sun in Cancer in your 7th house sextiles Uranus transiting in your 5th house of Taurus. So the Sun's in your opposite sign of Cancer, and it's in your 7th house of partners, romantic partner, business partner, close friend, anybody that you have a close relationship with. This is where your focal point is right now because the Sun's here. And this very nice sextile to Uranus in your 5th house of fun and romance means that, you know, something like that is going really well at this time. You're able to do something with one of these people in your life that is fun, or could even be something that wasn't planned. It was just a very unexpected, maybe you suddenly have time or the money or whatever to do something or other, and you grab this other person or they grab you, and you take off to do something that you hadn't planned on, but whatever it is, it's fun. On Tuesday, July 6th, Mercury in Gemini in your, let's see, 6th house, sorry, squares Neptune transiting in Pisces in your 3rd house. So Mercury in your 6th house of the workplace and co-workers, the kind of work that you do. It's also your house of health, square to Neptune in your 3rd house of your everyday life, your neighborhood, your neighbors, big communication house. Having Neptune here sometimes means that you're not able to get at information that you need or the correct message. You know, like when people talk to you, especially like your neighbors or anybody in your immediate area that you see almost like on a daily basis, you can't quite grasp what they're trying to tell you because the way they communicate, they're not coming out and telling you something that they think is probably pretty obvious to everyone. You know, so it could be something that's going on in your neighborhood that you're unaware of, but you sense maybe that something's going on. It could be something with your siblings or a cousin. They might possibly need help or something like that, or something happened with them. You know, I don't think they're in jail or anything, but you never know. Something could have happened where, and it's a big hush-hush thing, you know, no one's supposed to know about it. But I guess someone feels you should know. So, you know, this transit's a little bit of a white lie, or hiding the truth for some reason or other. Okay, and that's either by you're the one doing this, or someone else is doing this to you. On Wednesday, July 7th, Venus in Leo in your 8th house opposes Saturn in your 2nd house of Aquarius. So having Saturn in your 2nd house to begin with, I've mentioned many times, kind of dries up your income, your source of income, or it levels off or declines in some way or other. It's not as much as it was before. 8th house, though, is another money house, and it's other people's money and resources. It's money coming to you through means other than earning it. And this isn't like a real powerful transit, but on this day you could speculate a little bit, put a small sum on, let's say, like the lottery or something like that, because 8th house is prize money. It's also legacies, inheritances, legal settlement payouts, insurance payouts, refunds, credit, something or other. So something could happen at this time where maybe somebody will just give you money, okay, because they know you need it at this time. Could be a loan, could even be the bank, you know, or a credit card company giving you more credit. But it could just be someone in your life, and it doesn't look like it's a large sum of money, but they could just give you money, and not even as a loan. They'll just give it to you, they'll gift it to you because you need it. On Thursday, July 8th, Venus in Leo in your 8th house squares Uranus transiting in Taurus in your 5th house. So possibly with whatever money you get, or maybe your partner or a friend or whomever is the one that has some kind of money or whatever, maybe not a lot, but they do have enough to do something fun. Okay, this is a square from Venus, a fun planet, pleasure-seeking planet, to your 5th house of fun, where you have the planet Uranus. So this could be very unexpected event that happens in your life, where someone just grabs you and goes, hey, we're getting out of here, you know, let's go here, let's go there, where you take maybe a little bit of a trip of some kind, a little weekender or an overnighter or something, but you don't have to pay for it, they're paying for it. Okay, let's see here. My things are out of order. Okay, for Aquarius, on Monday, July 5th, the Sun in Cancer in your 6th house, 6th house Uranus transiting in your 4th house of Taurus. So the Sun is your the workplace, your co-workers, the kind of work that you do, your work schedule. It's your health, your house of service. Fourth house is your personal life, where you live, your actual physical dwelling, the people you live with, your family, your past. You could possibly be have always maybe worked from home, or still are still working from home due to the pandemic. Looks like that's something that you would like to have continue, and maybe that's what's going on right now, where that possibility is up for review right now, and maybe so you're voicing your opinion as to why you feel you should still work whatever way you want to, okay, at home or in the workplace. If you don't work at all, this is still a time where maybe there's someone in your life, more than likely a family member, that might even live with you. This could be a parent, or just someone that is maybe not well or not able to really live on their own, so they are living with you, or they don't live with you, but you are kind of like, in a way, their caregiver, and you check in on them and do whatever, okay? You help to take care of them, even though they can take care of themselves, but they do need a little bit of help. So this could be a time where something like that is up for review, even, to see if it's still necessary. Okay, on Tuesday, July 6th, Mercury in Gemini in your 5th house squares Neptune transiting in your 2nd house of Pisces. So, okay, having Neptune in your 2nd house of income. Okay, I've mentioned many times before that, you know, you should check all your bank statements, and if you work for someone else, your pay stub or whatever that shows all the taxes and whatever is being automatically taken out of your paycheck, because a lot of times there's stuff on there that you never asked to have, or you're not making the rate of pay that you were supposed to. It's never the same, even though you're working the same hours, you know. So why is your paycheck different sometimes? This is like one of those times, though, okay, this transit, Mercury and Neptune together in a square even, kind of denotes a little bit of a white lie, you know. So having Mercury in your 5th house, though, of fun and entertainment and speculation and romance, creativity, all kinds of fun stuff. Just the square to Neptune in your 2nd house, I'd have to say there's an issue about money, maybe with whomever it is that you're having this good time with. You know, maybe they're making you spend way too much, or you're having to spend more than you expected, and the only reason that you were doing this in the first place was because it wasn't supposed to cost that much. Something or other, okay? Or 5th house is also children. Your child may be involved in anything, you know, even sports still go on when school is off for the summer, so maybe they're involved in some kind of sports thing or something sports related, or even some form of entertainment, if they dance, or if they I don't know, there's all kinds of things that activities that kids do that cost like a ton of money, you know, even like their costumes for stuff. I mean, you wonder, you cannot afford to have a child play sports, I swear. Anyways, something like this, you know, there's you may have to tell a little bit of a white lie in regards to money, and say that, you know, you don't have it, even if you do or you don't. It's because you don't want to spend it. It's not worth whatever it is someone wants you to do. Okay. On Wednesday, July 7th, Venus in Leo in your 7th house opposes Saturn transiting in Aquarius in your 1st house. And this isn't a bad transit at all. Okay, having Venus in your 7th house of romantic partners, business partners, close friends. This is the house of close relationships. And the opposition to Saturn in your 1st house may just briefly make you feel that you aren't loved. Okay, that your partner isn't thinking of you, or not enough, or why they should do this, so they should do more as far as the relationship goes. You may feel like you're the one that always has to take the first step or make the first move in something or other. So it's just very brief and passing. On Thursday, July 8th, Venus in Leo in your 7th house squares Uranus, traveling in Taurus in your 4th house. So something like this, you know, it's almost like your partner either wants to or doesn't want to do something at your place or do something with your family. It's either you or them. Neither one of you that feels like involving, let's say, like the family or the home, having to, you know, anything, let's put it this way. It could even be something as serious as trying to determine if you should move in together or not. Okay, so, and this is just a very brief transit. It's not very powerful because it's from Venus, but it's just a possible conversation that really makes you think somewhere down the line. It could be a topic that you've never touched on before until now. Okay, for Pisces, on Monday, July 5th, the Sun in Cancer in your 5th house sextiles Uranus, transiting in your 3rd house of Taurus. And this is fun. This is, I would have to say, a sudden opportunity to travel, to have fun somewhere. Possibly local, fairly local, like an overnight or a weekend trip to possibly an amusement park or some other place. That is fun. It could even be to a place to gamble, a casino or something or other. Just, you know, out of the blue. It's something that more than likely wasn't planned. Okay, on Tuesday, July 6th, Mercury in Gemini in your 4th house squares Neptune, transiting in your 1st house of Pisces. So this brings about a little bit of a white lie. Okay, Mercury is in your 4th house of your family and your home and your personal life, or anyone that you live with. Doesn't necessarily have to be family. But somebody there could be telling you something or other that you automatically know is just like not true. Okay, I call it the little white lie, so I don't think it's a very big deal. But it could be something like someone telling you why they're not able to do something that you would like them to do. Okay. It could be, to me it kind of looks like it's family. Maybe you need someone to help you with something or other. Maybe even, I don't want to say you're moving, but a lot of times things with your home, you need some work done possibly. Maybe one of your family members knows how to fix or do something, and for some reason they're telling you that they can't. Okay, maybe not right now, maybe somewhere down the line, but whatever. It's something that you're not buying it. Okay. On Wednesday, July 7th, Venus in Leo in your 6th house opposes Saturn, transiting in your 12th house of Aquarius. So this isn't too bad, having Venus in your 6th house of the kind of work that you do, especially if you do something creative. It's got the touch of Venus on it right now, having Venus here. It's the workplace, your co-workers, your work schedule. It's your house of health and house of service. So it's not really, I would have to say, not really anything real earth-shaking going on here. Having Saturn in your 12th house of secrets and the subconscious mind and dreams and whatever, there could be somebody at work that, I don't know, makes you question yourself or question some way or other that you feel about yourself. Having Saturn in your 12th house does bring a lot of fears, just completely out of nowhere to the surface. Okay, you never were afraid of a lot of these things, and all of a sudden you are. You know, so something could happen in that way, that you encounter someone through work, or this being the house of service. It could be, we're back to, I have to say, family or neighbors or something like that, that you are helping them in some way or other. Maybe they need help with grocery shopping or a ride here and there. So something could occur then, though, too, where they do or say something that really puts a damper on, you know, your life or whatever. Just for that split second, though. It's not like anything lingering, but it really makes you think. Could also make you think of, what did they mean by that? Okay, on Thursday, July 8th, Venus in Leo in your 6th house squares Uranus transiting in your 3rd house of Taurus. So, you know, your 3rd house is your everyday life, your immediate area, your neighborhood, your neighbors, siblings, cousins, communication and travel house, and regular email, well, regular postal mail and email, any kind of messaging. You know, to me it doesn't look like there's too much going on here with work. I would have to say that this is possibly, you know, we'll say, okay, the 6th house being the house of health and having Venus here right now does make you kind of like want to indulge a little bit more in like sweets or things that possibly aren't good for you. And maybe you have taken up, let's say, walking or riding a bike or doing some form of exercise around your own neighborhood, around your own area. You could also be in touch with a sibling or cousin, or it could be a family member or something or other, that tells you something pretty surprising about one of your relatives, something that's going on. Not a big deal. These are, you know, the opposition of the day before and the square on this day from Venus. It's not like a very big deal. Okay, it's very fleeting. It only happens and then it's gone. So, I hope you enjoyed your astrological forecast for this week. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Check out my monthly forecast. Check out Ask Me a Question. And also the link to my website if you would like to have your personal chart done. See you next week. Goodbye.